Yo, what's up, guys? Today I got the best picks for you in the WNBA. We got 3 games of WNBA. I got 4 picks for you guys. But first up, do me a huge favor. Drop a like on this one. Takes you 2 seconds, completely free. And you guys have been crushing it with the like goals. Let's try to get to 20 likes in this video. If we can get to 20 likes, I'm dropping 1 extra pick in tomorrow's video. So 20 likes. Get that number there. And now let's talk about the recap from the day before. By the way, this is one thing I'll always do. Recap my wins, recap my losses, no matter what. We're a 100% transparent channel, and that is continuing today, of course, like every day. Now, what happened yesterday? Unfortunately, we did not clean sweep the board. It looks like we're going to clean sweep the WNBA. We already cashed out 1, and this one is live as I'm recording this video. And then what happened was our esports picks did not come through for us. And I told you guys, it was very likely that they would either both cash together or both miss together. And that's because they were correlated picks. In this case, the game goes long. It goes into a long overtime in map number 2. And then they both go on the over, when we had this one being more of a blowout game on the unders. So it is unfortunate there. This team played a lot better than we expected. But guys, it is what it is. That happens sometimes. The good thing is they were still correlated. They were just correlated in the wrong direction. And now, the reason I have this screenshot up here is to show you guys, this is more about the long term. And when I come on here and talk about the long term and I talk about years long of sports betting, people find it so boring. People find it like, well, we're not here to bet with you for a year, right? So I'm not here to tell you about that. I'm just here to say, if you guys stick with us for a week, just 1 week, it is very likely that if provided enough volume, here it's almost 60 bets, you can see that we make money in the long term. When I say long term, of course, ideally it's a longer sample size, say a month, 6 months, or 12 months. But even if you guys only just stick with us for a week, and this is on the VIP last week, we took almost 60 bets and we made money. This is for a $10 better. They made 16 units, profiting 26.67% ROI. Very, very good stuff. So you got to zoom out from one pick like this into a longer sample size and then see, well, actually, you can win long term playing with these strategies. And that strategy is one important word. We are going to talk about these strategies in this video, that not just giving you guys picks for tonight. I'm giving you guys strategies to help you go into your own sports betting apps, go into your own research tools, and start to make money from there yourself. Now, first things first, I want to tell you guys about how you can get $300 for free just in the next 10 minutes. If you guys saw $300 sitting on the ground, would you pick it up if it took you 10 minutes? Damn right you would. And the way you guys go ahead and do that is by locking in on PrizePicks, on Underdog, and on Rebet, using code BAM on PrizePicks and Underdog, and using code FFBAM over on Rebet. Rebet is one of the best sports betting apps for straight picks. They've got an almost infinite amount of selection. So if you really want to get into the weeds on the actual nitty gritty of some specific markets, I would say go for Rebet. They basically have every market that you can imagine. Go ahead, check it out. Once you guys sign up with code FFBAM, they're doubling your deposit up to $100. And on PrizePicks and Underdog, these are literally like the 1-2 punch of DFS apps that you guys absolutely need to be on both of them. PrizePicks is great for esports. It's great for correlation. Underdog is great for plus EVs, just chucking a bunch into a parlay. And Underdog right now is definitely the best app in the world to make money on. I could help a 90-year-old grandma make money on Underdog Fantasy if she just logged in using my code and started following these strategies that I will explain in this video. It is insanely easy to make money on this app, and they're probably going to change the rules soon. I just got a feeling. Now, if you guys sign up with code BAM on PrizePicks and on Underdog, you guys will get up to $200 once you play your first $5 on each app. So lock in over there. Those links will be in the description of this video. And now let's move into the picks for today, because we got some good stuff to talk about. By the way, if you just want to get the pick, if you're just here for the picks and you're not here for the math, you want to understand why we make money, you don't understand the strategies, just skip ahead like 1 or 2 minutes and you'll get the picks. Now, if you actually care about the math, which you should, because that is what helps us make money on this channel, let's talk for literally 2 minutes. Right here, Underdog Fantasy has changed the game, and I'm outlining it as simple as possible. Payout structures, right? The 4-man flex payouts are now like this. 7.2x for a 4 out of 4, 1.8x for a 3 out of 4. If you guys are comparing that to what it is on PrizePicks, this is on Underdog, by the way, for the top ones. These are on UD. If you guys compare that to what's happening on PrizePicks, it's 5x if you go 4 out of 4, and it's 1.5x if you go 3 out of 4, and this is over on PrizePicks, right? This is an insane discrepancy. Why am I pinpointing the 4-man flex, you might ask? Because it is by far and away the best slip in the world right now. The best slip type that you guys can take, the 4-man flex on Underdog Fantasy. And you guys better believe we're locking in a 4-man flex in today's video. Now, the reason why this is because if you do the math and you go 7.2x if you get 4 out of 4, 1.8x if you get 3 out of 4, and you really do the math and you break it down, you can boil it down to just a number, a percentage that you have to hit your picks at in order to break even. And I can show you guys the math in another video. You can even just look it up if you want to do the math on your own. It is super simple to do. But the bottom line is the break-even line, the bar, in order to, if you hit this percentage, you make money, or if you hit this if you're lower than this percentage, you lose money. If you're higher than this percentage, you make money, given a long sample size. The bar is 51.8% on Underdog Fantasy when you're playing 4-man flexes. 51.8%. And I'm going to say that one more time. 2 percentage points better than an actual idiot picking heads or tails and locking it in with his own money. If you can hit 2 percentage points better than that guy, you will make money on Underdog Fantasy. Now you might think, well, if I can hit 2 percentage points, that guy I should make money on every app, right? Well, no. If you lock in on 2-man powers on PrizePicks, which I can guarantee you more than half of you guys watching, that is your most common slip type, the 2-man power, because you think in your brain, well, if I just hit 2 picks, right, then I get money, right? I just only need 2 things to go my way and then I'll make some money, right? This is what a lot of people think. And it's not just you guys watching this video. I was also like this too. When I originally started my first few entries on PrizePicks, I can go back and scroll to them. They were 2-man powers, and I'm kicking myself right now for doing it because I did not know the math and I did not trust that this is exactly why and how PrizePicks make billions of dollars. They scam their users and they trick them into taking 2-man powers. The bar is 57%. If you're hitting at 57% taking 2-man powers, well, guess what? You didn't make money, but you didn't lose money either. That's what PrizePicks tells you. If you hit at 57%, which is an insane bar. Underdog Fantasy right now, it's at 51.8%. So given a long sample size, play for a week, play for 2 weeks, play for 100, 200 bets. If you're hitting it around or over, 51.8% on your bets, you will make money on Underdog Fantasy playing the 4-man flex. That is the most important strategy and the easiest strategy you guys can implement. And now let's get into the picks for today. So we're starting it off over in the Wings and Fever game, and we're going to take Jessica Shepard here on the over at 15.5 rebounds and assists. This is one of my favorite picks of the day, and let me explain exactly how I found this particular pick. I used DailyGrindFantasy. Now, DailyGrindFantasy is one of many plus EV tools, but in my opinion, I've used them, a lot of them. This is the best plus EV tool in showing you guys just straight up. You hit the refresh button right here, and it gives you picks. I would set the minimum data points to 3, because what does this mean? We are checking in, they're reading in millions of data points every single split second, and they found this. Jessica Lynn Shepard on Underdog Fantasy at 15.5 rebounds and assists. It's got around a 54.18% chance of cashing, right? This is a green box right here because that 54% is much higher than guess what number? This 51.8%. If you lock this in on PrizePicks, this would be a losing pick if you're taking 2-man powers, that is, right? Why is this a very good play? Because we can compare it to the other apps. Imagine like we got all the apps in our circle and they're all our friends giving our opinions on if they like the over or the under for this pick. And the way they give their opinion and how strongly they give their opinion is based on the number and the American odds value that they put on the line. In this case, FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, and Bovada all have this at 15.5. So you might think, well, Underdog's just fine keeping it at 15.5. What's the big deal, right? Well, on Underdog Fantasy, you can basically get it at minus 107 or minus 110, depending on which slip type you lock it in. It's not going to say that, but of course, that is the implied odds. On FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, Bovada, it's at minus 135, minus 125, minus 137, minus 145. So what is this saying? This is saying that all these apps are basically just telling us, yeah, this is a very, very high percent chance of cashing, right? Much higher than 50% because we're giving you minus 145 odds for it, right? So you can lock in a pick on Underdog Fantasy. Then you got to take the average of these pretty much. So it's around, they say minus 138. You can lock that in on Underdog Fantasy. Just easy value right there. And how did you find that pick? By using Daily Grind Fantasy. If you guys want to check out Daily Grind, I got a link in my bio or in the description. You guys can check it out. But I would genuinely recommend every single person get on this. Like about a month ago, I was helping some of my friends out, trying to get them started with sports betting. Actually, some clients as well. Started with sports betting and go from $100 to $1,000 within like 2 months or so. He literally hopped on Daily Grind Fantasy. I paid him, I cash apped him so they could go ahead and hop on Daily Grind Fantasy, and he started making money from the get-go. It is one of the best tools you guys can use if you do not understand math, if you don't understand plus EV, and you really understand that this is what you need. Log in on Daily Grind Fantasy. Link is in the description. And now let's get into the picks for the rest of the day. Jessica Lynn Shepard's going to be play number 1. Very, very good pick. We already talked about it quite a bit. But even though she has been doing rough recently in the last 5 games or so, she's hit this a lot over on the season. And like I said before, this is a plus EV pick. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this one. Let's just move on to play number 2 in the same game, which is going to be Caitlin Clark on the under at 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Now, this is another huge, important thing. A lot of people are going to say, wait a minute. You're taking the star player on the under? I never do that. Because a lot of people, they only like to take overs. Around 80% of the bets they take are all overs. And they'll only take an under on a player they don't like. And a lot of people like Caitlin Clark. So a lot of her bets, a lot of her liquidity is, of course, on the over. Now, we've got to separate our emotions from our betting in this case. And Caitlin Clark, although she has hit this in more games than not in the last 10, we got to look at this over the season. She's only hit this over in around 37% of games. She's, of course, hitting the under at a much higher percentage than that. And although this matchup is okay, it's not a great matchup, we can look at this and we can separate it just specifically by the guards position, right? So look at how is the Dallas defense? Yeah, they're middle of the road, maybe even pretty good defense. Well, you separate it to just the guards position. They're a top 3 in points, top 4 in assists, top 6 in assists, top 4 in rebounds, right? This is an elite level defense, particularly to the guards position. So of course, Caitlin Clark as a guard is going to struggle more against Dallas. And we cannot just look at this as the current form of the defense. We'll look at the head-to-head guys. She's hit the under in 2 out of the last 3 games going up against the Wings defense. I like this one a ton. Now getting into play number 2 or play number 3, it's going to be Layla Lacan on the under of 14.5 PR. This is another great one, honestly. She's hit the under in 80% of games. Head-to-head, hit the under in both games. This season, hit the under in 68% of games. Yeah, there are some injuries to a couple players on this team, but like we see here, they are still game time decisions. Hopefully they do end up playing. And of course, this is not even super correlated because these are forwards and setters, and she is, of course, a guard in this case. So do I like this one on the under? Yes. Honestly, if you're taking this on the over, I don't know what to tell you. I love this one on the under for Layla Lacan. Now, play number 4, it's going to be Chelsea Gray on the under at 22.5 PRA. Look at this. We're taking 3 unders. A lot of people would never take 1 under in their lives. But Chelsea Gray on the under at 22.5 PRA. The reason I like this pick, she has hit this in more times than less in the 6 out of 10 games in the last 10. And if we look at this really just in the last 5 or 6 games, she's hit the under in 5 out of 6 of those games. She is really kind of on the downtrend, and you can even see these minutes are a little bit on the downtrend too. My fault about that. Minutes are on the downtrend too. She went for 40 minutes. Of course, it was an overtime game. 35, 35, 28, 34, 33. Slight downward slope right there when it comes to the minutes. And this game, also, it's super worth mentioning. Look at this spread, man. Aces are literally minus 15 in this one. It might even be over before the 4th quarter starts. And if that is the case, do I expect Gray to play a lot in that 4th quarter? You bet your bottom dollar she ain't playing very much in that 4th quarter. So yeah, that's all I got for this one. I appreciate y'all watching the video. One more time, lock it in as a 4-man flex if you want to make some money long term. Sign up on Underdog with code BAM, play your first $5, get $50, and let's make some money.